sometimes that repurposed piece is actually even more powerful than the actual long form piece. And it's your point, it's where you're meeting that listener or whoever or watcher in that journey. Maybe that point struck a chord. So you can't ever, one outweighs the other, short or long form. It's very interesting.
Yeah, we've got a client who often gets, like say more views on like the audiograms that we create for him on LinkedIn than he does downloads of his podcast. But that doesn't matter because that's leading to business for him though, because like it's all taking place for him on LinkedIn anyway. So there's a lot of people who respect and admire the fact that he has this podcast and love listening to these snippets of him doing these great interviews on LinkedIn, but they're not podcast listeners. So nothing's really enticing them to go and listen to the podcast, but that he's getting more views on these audiograms and building this. Then he's being asked to speak at events and he's getting clients and things like that. His reputation is growing. So I always find it quite interesting, thousands of views of that audiogram and hundreds of comments, but only like a few hundred podcast downloads. But that doesn't matter. That's not the metric that we're actually measuring there then, is it? Because we're measuring metrics that move his business along, and he doesn't want to become the next Joe Rogan or the next biggest podcaster in the world. It's all to grow his business, and if that's happening through the repurposed content, then great, so